Well, here in the garage, we're not a fly-by-night operation, but sometimes you're playing an acoustic guitar that you really like. I happen to really like this guitar, and you're playing out live, and the way the audience is going to be able to hear it is by mounting a microphone in front of the guitar, which is fine, but what if you move around, or what if you lean back and lean forward? The mic doesn't pick it up consistently. So the solution often is to put a pickup inside the guitar, and there's a lot of ways that you can do that. One of the common ways is to remove all the strings and then this saddle, and you'll drill a small hole underneath the saddle and lay what's called a piezo underneath this. That causes the bridge to get raised, so that throws your action all off. So you have to shave the bridge and do a full setup so that all your playability of the guitar stays the same. And in addition to that, oftentimes you're going to add what's called a preamp, and that requires cutting out the side of the body of your guitar and dropping in an assembly that has volume, tone, other kind of controls for EQing, and a battery compartment. And then from there, you're going to add what's called an end pin jack, which replaces this end pin right here with something that you can plug a cable into and then plug your guitar into an amplifier or a PA system or whatever, so that it can be heard louder than just with a microphone in front of the guitar. And if you got a lot of money, it's a $200, maybe a $250 investment to add a pickup to the inside of these guitars. But a guitar like this, it really isn't all that expensive, but I like it. I really wouldn't spend that kind of money on. So what's an alternative that really sounds good and works really well? I found this little pickup by a company called Barkus. It's called an Insider. And what it does is it mounts to the underside of the saddle with double-sided tape. And you might say, oh, double-sided tape, it's not going to hold up, but it does hold up. I've actually got a guitar that I use with this in it, and it's lasted for 5 years with no end in sight, as long as it's mounted and installed correctly. The nice thing about this is twofold. One, you're not drilling holes, you're not cutting the guitar, you're not doing anything to damage the guitar. So if you have a guitar that you really like or that's really delicate and you want to add essentially a pickup to it, this is a very, very low, almost zero damage way to do it. The other thing about this particular pickup is that in addition to reading the sound off the bottom of the soundboard, it also picks up some of the resonant sound from inside of the guitar body. So if you happen to be a player that thumps the guitar a lot with their thumb to get that percussive kind of sound with it, this is a good pickup for that. It will pick that sound up really well. It doesn't take a lot to install. I have a little jig that I use that puts it in the right place so that when it mounts underneath the bridge, it's in the right place. And the only other thing that has to happen with this is it mounts to an end pin jack. So really the only thing that we're going to do, and that's what an end pin jack looks like right there. You can see you can put your guitar strap on it. It'll work that way. It also has an opening for you to insert your jack plug so you can plug it into an amplifier or a PA system. And the only thing that really has to happen when we do this is when we remove the end pin here, there's just a screw that holds this in. We do have to drill it out to make it larger to receive that end pin jack. But that's all that's going to happen to this guitar in terms of altering. Everything else is all very passive. And then when you plug this into your PA system or into a preamp, an external preamp, you can EQ it that way. And then when you're playing it, you can move around, you can thump on your guitar, you can jump up and down and scream or whatever, and you get the same consistent sound that you would if you were sitting in front of a microphone. A retrofit like this, the part costs about $80. It's about a $25 job to do, so maybe for $110 you have a nice internal pickup installed in your guitar, and you can play your favorite guitar out in public. So a little tip for you to think about.